It's a joke often made on social media that men can sit and name old athletes for hours and have the time of their lives. And if you believe that, I have to tell you, you're right. It's something I do even when I'm by myself and trying to sleep. The amount of time it takes for me to go from being seconds away from a deep slumber to looking at Nate McLouth's home run log is not long at all. This is not something unique to men either. Nostalgia is a powerful motivator for people in all types of interests, and nobody loves it more than sports fans. Especially sports fans whose current teams aren't anything special. So for the rest of this video, let's take a look back at some exciting baseball players of the past. Not all of them may have done something extraordinary off the field a la Jason Grimsley, who famously crawled through the ceiling of the umpire's room in Comiskey Park to swap out Albert Bell's confiscated corked bat with one of Paul Sorrento's bats. Not all of them rose to the occasion when put in one of the most important situations in MLB history either, a la Tony Womack, whose 72 career OPS plus pales in comparison to his 9th inning RBI double in Game 7 of the 2001 World Series, the second clutchest hit in baseball history via championship win probability added. What all of these guys do bring to the table, though, is the ability to tap into the memory banks of a certain section of baseball fans. For good or bad reasons? Well, that's up to you to decide. Without further ado, let's remember some guys. We began our trip down memory lane with Ricky Weeks. After being selected second overall in the 2003 MLB entry draft by the Milwaukee Brewers, Ricky was a full-time MLB player by 2005. He made the NL All-Star team in 2011, as well as the Home Run Derby that same year. He posted a career slash line of 246, 344, 420, finishing his career in 2017 with 161 home runs and a Fangraphs WAR of 18 on the dot. Ricky is most remembered for his stint as the second baseman of the Brewers from 2005 to 2014. His unique batting stance was one often replicated at least by me growing up. He hit for power from second base, something that was not common in his era. His 70 home runs from 2010 to 2012 tied him with Evan Longoria and Andrew McCutchen in the same period. He posted a .443 slugging percentage in that time, putting him ahead of positional contemporaries like Ian Kinsler, Brandon Phillips, and Chase Utley. He wasn't the most well-rounded second baseman, but who cares? His most important trait is that he was cool. The upright stance, the power, the free swinging, all three critical characteristics to be a cool, memorable player. Next up is Jeff Francoeur, a player who took MLB by storm so hard that he ended up on the cover of Sports Illustrated. Frenchie's rookie season is what he's most notable for, posting a .360 average and 1.067 OPS in his first 37 games. He cooled down a bit, but still finished third in NL Rookie of the Year voting despite only playing 70 games. While his bat continued to cool down throughout the rest of his career, one thing that nobody can take away from him is that he had an absolute rocket arm in the outfield. And is there any cooler trait for an outfielder to have? He delivered missiles to cut down runners, to the tune of 135 career outfield assists over 10 MLB seasons. Alex Gordon, another outfielder in a similar era renowned for his arm, posted 102 assists in parts of 10 seasons in the outfield. When I say Francoeur had a cannon, he had a cannon. Just look at some of these throws. Are you kidding me? Some of these can make Joey Gallo blush. His rookie year was awesome and he threw the ball really hard. I'm not sure what more you could want from a player. Our third player is Michael Barrett, a former catcher mostly remembered for his time with the Chicago Cubs. He had a few solid years from 2004 to 2006, posting a WRC plus of 107, 111, and 122 in each of those 3 seasons respectively, and an OPS above 820 in all 3 years. Fangraphs' defensive metrics don't love him, but it was the 2000s. Catcher defense just meant that you could throw the ball hard and weren't letting every curveball get to the backstop. I'm not here to remember Barrett for his play though. The defining memory of Michael Barrett's career in my eyes came on May 20th, 2006. The Cubs were at US Cellular Field to play their crosstown rivals, the White Sox. Sox catcher A.J. Pierzynski barreled towards the plate on a sac fly and plowed over Michael Barrett. Barrett got up, retrieved his helmet, and delivered one of the cleanest punches in MLB history. What sticks out about this play isn't just that it was the rare punch that landed flush in MLB's notorious history of non-brawl, bench-clearing brawls, but that it was so rare for Barrett, who never found himself in a situation where he would have to get physical with someone during a baseball game ever again. What's that? Actually, I'm receiving word that just over a year later, on June 1st, 2007, Barrett got into a brawl in the dugout with notoriously hot-headed teammate Carlos Zambrana. The lasting memory of Michael Barrett's MLB career should be this: that guy rules. From one Cub to another, we move to Ryan Dempster, who may be most well known for his wacky delivery in which he employed a shake of the wrist to help disguise the ball from batters. He had a legitimately great season in 2008, finishing with a 1.54 ERA plus in 206 innings of work, and receiving Cy Young votes for the first time in his career. Besides that season, though, he was mostly just a serviceable MLB starter for a long time. So is this what makes him worth remembering? The wacky delivery in one standout season? Depends who you ask. In 2013, Dempster was in what would be his final MLB season, pitching for the eventual World Series champion Boston Red Sox. Alex Rodriguez played for the rival Yankees, and had his share of incidents with the Red Sox in the past. He was in his 12th game back from a lengthy IL stint, and it was just announced that he would be suspended for the entirety of the following season for PED use. Ryan Dempster didn't waste much time throwing at him, and the benches cleared almost instantly. Dempster denied that it was intentional at the time, but a few years later, while appearing on MLB Network, he owned up to it. The only thing that could have made this incident funnier is if he just never lied in the first place. With A-Rod standing with the league and baseball fans at the time, I'm pretty certain nobody would have cared. But yeah, Ryan Dempster. Fun pitcher. Next we move to our only other pitcher on the list, that being Derek Lowe. Lowe was a journeyman, pitching in 17 MLB seasons for 7 different teams. He had some truly great seasons in the early 2000s, including a third-place Cy Young finish in 2002 with the Red Sox, where he posted a 177 ERA plus and 5.2 Ks per 9. Times have changed, evidently. Lowe may not be a name that baseball fans have forgotten necessarily, mostly because it's incredibly likely that he pitched for your favorite team at some point. But he does have one individual performance that flies under the radar that I wanted to talk about. In Game 4 of the 2004 ALCS, with Boston down 3-0 against the rival Yankees, Derek Lowe pitched 5.1 innings, surrendering 3 earned runs. Decent start, and it held Boston in the game long enough for David Ortiz to eventually walk it off in the 12th. Living to see another day, the Red Sox took Games 5 and 6 to force an unlikely Game 7, the first time a team had ever forced Game 7 from down 3-0 in MLB history. Who started Game 7? That's right, Derek Lowe. On 3 days rest, Lowe pitched 6 innings, allowing only 1 hit in a 10-3 blowout victory for the Sox. In any series that didn't feature multiple Red Sox players setting their clutch sliders to 100, Derek Lowe would be heralded as a hero. Instead, he's just a guy worth remembering, and I think that's a pretty good thing to be. Finally, I'm going to shine a spotlight on who I think is most likely the best player featured in this video. El Caballo Carlos Lee. Carlos played an important role on a few teams, receiving MVP votes 3 times in his career. A ring eluded him, as he left the White Sox just before their 2005 World Series run. His peak OPS plus was 145 in 2008, but he maintained a level of consistency for a long stretch. He hit 24 or more home runs every year from 2000 to 2010, not putting up an OPS below 789 besides his age 34 season in 2010. El Caballo was a tremendous power hitter with a low strikeout rate for his production, even for the era he played in. He didn't necessarily have a signature postseason moment, which is a shame because he would probably get more of the recognition he deserves if he did, but he did have a few standout moments in the regular season that showed off just what he was capable of. In 2000, his second full season in the league, Carlos launched a home run off prime Mariano Rivera to tie the game in the 9th.
And ball hit deep into center field. Way back, Bernie Williams at the wall, looks up, you can put it on the board! Yes!
In 07, now playing for the Astros, he fished a pitch out of the dirt and over the Crawford boxes with 2 outs in the 11th for a walk-off grand slam against Colorado. While El Caballo may not have had the peak of any of his Hall of Fame contemporaries, he's one of the truly great players of the 2000s that can easily get lost in the shuffle if you don't look hard enough. There are so many players from all eras that are worth looking back on fondly, either due to their play on the field or their fists off of it. Looking at you, Michael Barrett. Nostalgia is half the fun of being a sports fan, as constantly looking forward or, in some cases, dwelling on the present can be a joyless endeavor. Sports should be fun, and I look forward to continuing to share memories of fun athletes from days past on this channel in the future. If you've enjoyed remembering some guys with me, drop a like and subscribe to the channel. We have more sports content coming soon, and there will definitely be more guys to remember across all sports. Thanks for the support, and see you next time.